As you can see, by my outfit and my flag, you know it's time for a political video. Alright, that was pretty dumb. So in today's video, we're going to be taking the political compass test. Now, if you've never taken the political compass test or never even heard of it, it's basically like a personality test that will ask you a bunch of questions or give you a bunch of prompts, and you'll answer a multiple choice question, or with the multiple choice answers, such as strongly disagree, agree, and strongly agree. And you'll see all of these, and then there's 6 different pages of these, and each page has a different theme. And at the end, it will show you on a kind of box graph where you fall, in relation to other people. So, I'll leave a link in the description if you've never taken this before, and I'll also leave a link to my Twitter and to my Instagram so that you can send me your results. I would love to see your results, if you decide to take this test. So yeah, if you take the test, send me your results. I would love to see that. So let's get started, page 1 of 6, just a few propositions to start with concerning, no less, how you see the country and the world. This test, I will say, is a bit biased towards libertarianism, which if you don't know what that means, don't worry, you'll understand. So this isn't the best test. There are other tests out there that are better, but this is the most well-known, and it's a good starting point for, if you're just starting and getting into politics. But this is not the best one, but it is the most popular. If economic globalization is inevitable, it should primarily serve humanity rather than the interests of transnational corporations. I strongly agree with that. Globalization, especially economic globalization, is inevitable. Like it just is inevitable. And I think that humanity as a whole should benefit from, economic growth rather than just like a few people at the head of a corporation. So yeah, I strongly agree that normal people should benefit most. I always support my country, whether it was right or wrong. I will disagree with that because, if I lived in Nazi Germany, I wouldn't agree with that. I wouldn't agree just because I am born into a nationality doesn't mean I have to follow it to the ends of the earth. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't make any sense. Right? Blind nationalism makes no sense. So actually, I'll change that to a strongly disagree. No one chooses their country. See, this is exactly what I was talking about. No one chooses their country, so it's foolish to be proud of it. I'll strongly agree to that. Kind of for the exact reason I was just talking about. Our race has many superior qualities compared to other races. Strongly disagree. I hope I don't have to explain that one. Racism is bad. That's pretty straightforward. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. I will disagree with that because of one word, and I'll say one word. The Taliban. Moving on. Military action that defies international law is sometimes justified. Never, not in a million years. The Geneva Convention is there for a reason and is there to be followed. So, don't break international law. There is now a worrying fusion of information and entertainment. Now, this question I never understand what it means. Is it meaning that information and entertainment are so intertwined that that's a concern? Or information and entertainment are like indistinguishable? Or like political satire and actual politics are indistinguishable? So no, that's the concern. Now, I don't really understand what that means, but I always put agree. I'm going to put disagree this time just to see how that changes my results, because I have legit no idea what this means, and if you can explain that to me, please do so. It always confused me. That's also another thing. there's no neutral or unsure option. That would be a perfect question for me to put unsure because I don't even know what it's asking. But see, now they force you to an agree or disagree. So that's a reason that's another reason other than being biased that this test is not that great. People are ultimately divided more by class than nationality. I strongly agree with that. Poor people across the world have more in common with other poor people than they do with the rich in their same country. Controlling inflation is more important than controlling unemployment. Now, this one I always have a tough time with. Is it more important for money to actually be worth something so that, people with money actually can afford to buy things? Or is it more important for everyone to have a job so that they can make money, even if that money might not be worth a lot in the long run? I'm going to say disagree because people should be able to make money, and employment is important, and unemployment is never a good thing. So people not being employed is never a good thing. So I'm going to say disagree. Excuse me. Because corporations cannot be trusted to voluntarily protect the environment, they require regulation. Strongly agree. Corporations should be forced to respect the environment. From each according to his ability, to each according to his need is a fundamentally good idea. So basically saying from each according to his ability, you give everything that you can to society, and then to each according to his need, society will give you what you need in return for your giving. I agree with that. I agree that this is a good idea. This is basically the basis behind socialism or communism, or I vaguely agree with this. Fear of the markets, fear of the people. I strongly disagree with that. We've tried laissez-faire capitalism before, and what did it lead to? Monopolies. I'm not child labor. I'm not really a fan of child labor or monopolies. So, wage slavery. So, no. Regulation is good. It's sad. It's a sad reflection on our society that something as basic as drinking water is now a bottled, branded consumer product. I agree with that. Land shouldn't be a commodity to be bought and sold. I disagree. I feel like land should be able to be bought and sold. People should own the land they live on, right? So, I disagree with that. It is regrettable that many personal fortunes are made by people who simply manipulate money and contribute nothing to society. I agree with that. Protectionism is sometimes necessary in trade. See, now this is always confusing me too, so I'm going to say disagree, just to see how that changes my results. The only social responsibility of a company should be to deliver a profit to its shareholders. I strongly disagree to that. A company should deliver a good product to the consumers. Its only responsibility should be to deliver a good product to its consumers, and if you're not delivering a good product, then you get beat. The rich are too highly taxed. Absolutely not. They are too lowly taxed. Those with the ability to pay should have access to higher standards of health care or medical care. I don't agree with that. It's regular disagree. I feel like everyone should. It's kind of like education. I feel like everyone should get the same level of education, and that education being the best it could possibly be. Same thing with healthcare. Everyone should get access to the same healthcare, and that healthcare is the best it could possibly be. There's no reason that you should have to pay for better, because there is no better. Government should penalize businesses that mislead the public. Absolutely. If you lie to people, then you should definitely do that. A genuine free market requires restrictions on the ability of predator multinationals to create monopolies. I agree, I guess. I don't know. I agree. 3, look at some of your personal social views. Abortion, when the woman's life is not threatened, should always be illegal. Absolutely not. Abortion should always be legal, always. I think about it this way. as a man, I shouldn't have an opinion, right? I'm never going to have an abortion, right? Because I'm not a man. So, I don't think that I should have a say on whether or not abortion should be legal or not. But since we live in the world where, that's not really a call that gets to be made, I'm going to say that I'm going to take the side of women, right? Women should be able to choose, and, it's also like we're not forcing people to get abortions. No one is being forced to have an abortion. You know what I mean? We're not forcing women to get abortions. We're just allowing them the choice to do it if they so wish. You know what I mean? And all the scenarios, there are more scenarios where it is good to have abortion than it is to not have abortion. Like, the good outweighs the bad when it comes to that. All authority should be questioned. Every authority should be able to answer why it exists. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. I disagree with that. Not all crimes should be punished so harshly, but and some crimes should be punished harsher than the actual crime. So it really depends. So like, not everything is equal in like when it comes to crime and punishment. Taxpayers should not be expected to prop up any theaters or museums that cannot survive on a commercial basis. I disagree with that because, museums are pretty cool and, they should be left open for all to see, even though not everyone may value what information they may have. Some people do, and those people should be able to do free of charge, as long as they're run by the government. If it's a private thing, then, whatever. Schools should not make classroom attendance compulsory, especially saying school attendance in classrooms should be optional, not forced. I disagree. You should go to school. Like, going to school shouldn't be an option. All people have their rights, but it is better for all of us that different sorts of people should keep to their own kind. Strongly disagree. I hope that I don't have to explain that either. Again, racism is bad. Good parents sometimes have to spank their children. I wish there was like a light agree. Because, like, sure, I guess. It's natural that children keep some secrets from their parents. Yes, that's natural. Possessing marijuana for personal use should not be a criminal offense. It isn't. In the state where I live, in New York, it actually was changed to be legal not that long ago. So, yeah, it shouldn't be a crime. I always agreed with this before, but especially now that it's actually legal. The prime function of schooling should be to equip the future with The prime function of schooling should be to equip the future generation with defined jobs. See, not to find jobs. I don't think it should be to find jobs, but it should be to find which career path you want to go down and whether or not that requires college or not, right? So that's why they give access to WMOCO in high school, right? If you want to go into a trade, you can go to a trade school and get training in the trade that you want. Like carpentry or electricity or plumbing or whatever. You could do that. Or if you're more of an academic type, you can not go to WMOCO and go to college and go down an economic thing. Or you can go to trade school after high school or whatever. But high school and middle school and especially elementary school should just be teaching you how to be a human and like basic knowledge. And then middle school is like, okay, now you're like functioning as a person, not just a human, but like a person. And then high school is like, okay, what do you want to do with your life? What kind of career do you want? And we're going to give you a lot of options to do with that. So actually, I guess I agree with that. People with serious inheritable disabilities should not be allowed to reproduce. Strongly disagree with that. I don't care who says what. you should be able to breed with whoever. Like if someone agrees to breed with you, like have a child with you, who cares? They both consent to have a child. The most important thing for children to learn is to accept discipline. No, no, no. There are no savage or civil. There are no savage and civilized peoples. There are only different cultures. I strongly agree with that. There's no different, or there is differences, but they're not like superior or anything like that. Those who are able to work and refuse the opportunity should not be expected to society's support. No, I disagree with that. You should be able to just in a perfect utopia, no one should have to work ever. So I guess I disagree with that. When you are troubled, it's better not to think about it, but to keep busy with more cheerful things. I disagree. You gotta work through that pain or it'll never go away. First generation immigrants can never fully integrate within their new country. I strongly disagree. You can definitely fully integrate. I mean, what does that even really mean? I guess like if you're into assimilation, I think it's raining outside. If you're into assimilation, then yeah, I guess that a first generation immigrant can fully assimilate into your country's culture, but it's not really like something they have to do, but it's definitely possible. What's good for the most successful corporations is always ultimately good for all of us. No, I don't think so. Not everyone is into corruption. No broadcasting institution, however independent its content should receive public funding. I disagree. PBS is a good thing. Next page, 4. See how you see wider society. Our civil liberties are being excessively curbed in the name of counterterrorism. I agree. The Patriot Act, where they can just read your emails and stuff. No, that's no good. A significant advantage of a one-party state is that it avoids all the arguments that delay progress in a democratic political system. I strongly disagree. I'm in favor of democracy, even though, arguments and whatnot. But even in a one-party state, you can see in with the Soviet Union, there was interparty rivalries all the time. Stalin had to purge a lot of people from his party, to keep control. Inter-party rivalries still happen, right? Although the electronic age makes official surveillance easier, only wrongdoers need to be worried. No, everyone needs to be worried of that. The death penalty should be an option for the most serious crimes. I agree with that, I guess. The death penalty is a kind of to me. I don't really know where I stand on it, but I guess for the most serious criminals that it is okay to use the death penalty. In a civilized society, one must always have people above to be obeyed and people below to be commanded. I disagree with that. It's not always necessary. Abstract art that doesn't represent anything shouldn't be considered art at all. If it looks nice, it's art. In criminal justice, to punish. See, I don't really know. See, this is another thing. What does this have to do with anything? Well, what does this have to do with politics at all? In criminal justice, punishment should be more important than rehabilitation. Punishment? No. Rehabilitation. We want people to function in society, not to punish people, not to I'm gonna teach you a lesson. What does that do for anyone? Just make them good, and then they'll contribute to society. It is a waste of time to try to rehabilitate some criminals. Now I will agree that sometimes people are too far gone, right? And then they're just then they stay in jail or they get the death penalty, but if they're able to be rehabilitated, then they'll go out and be good people. A business person and the manufacturer are more important than the writer and the artist. I disagree. Strongly disagree. Culture is very important to people and to society as a whole. Mothers may have careers, but their first duty is homemakers. No. Straight up no. Multinational companies are unethically exploiting the plant genetic resources of developing countries. I agree that they are exploiting them. Making peace with the establishment is an important part of maturity. No. Next page. Okay. On religion. Okay, so this is about religion. Astrology accurately explains many things. No. You cannot be moral without being religious. No, you can be moral without being religious. There is no objective morality, so that's like a moot point, but yes, you can be a good person, whatever that means, without being religious. Charity is better than Social Security. No. Some people are naturally unlucky. What does this have to do with politics? But no. I mean, yes. I don't really know. It is important that my child's school. No. All right. 6. Okay, so final page. Sex outside of marriage is usually immoral. No. Same-sex couples in a stable, loving relationship should not be excluded from the possibilities of child adoption. Yes, I agree with that. That depicting consenting adults should be legal for adults population. I agree. What goes on in a private bedroom between consenting adults is no business of the state. Sure. I mean, I guess there's some things that are like cannibalism. Like cannibalism. Like if you eat, well, that's it's weird. That's weird. Okay, just agree. I don't want to think about that anymore. Agree. I agree that the government shouldn't get involved. No one can feel naturally homosexual. No. I mean, anyone can. You don't become gay. You just are born that way, and it's just how you are. You don't start out straight and then become homosexual. Some people think they're straight and then find out later, hey, no, I'm actually gay or lesbian or whatever. But, some people are just born gay. And they just know they're gay and act that way, These days, openness about sex has gone too far. I don't think so. I disagree with that. I feel like we need to be more open with it, and have more discussions and be more open towards LGBT stuff. So let's see where I am. All right, so this is just how the compass works. So this is more on this line. This is telling me how towards capitalism if I'm towards the right, and towards the left I'm towards socialism or communism. And if I'm more up in these two squares, I'm pro-authoritarian. And down here, I'm more towards libertarian. If I'm on the very bottom, I'm an anarchist. So here are some countries that used to be people. I mean, is there still? No. So this is countries that where they fall. So here's North Korea up here, China, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, Uruguay, and Switzerland. How it used to be was that there were people here. Hitler's about right where the A is in China. Right there. That's where Hitler is. Donald Trump was around here. And Gandhi was about here. And Stalin, where West North Korea is. So, And then Ayn Rand was around here, I think. Where my cursor is. So. So, yeah. So here I am. I am -7 to the left. And -6.1 down. So, yep, this is where I am. So, yeah, this is it. This is a political compass. This is my results. Feel free to, like I said, use the link to, let's see, claim your free political compass certificate. You can get this printed out. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. I've never seen that before, but also you can make donations if you want to do that, but I wouldn't do that. But yeah, this has been the video. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to take the test and then send your results to me if you care. And make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.